Hello, people around the world who love video games. This is Timothy Ryan Scully, also known as Ryan for Ryan's Video Game Reviews, and we are going to be doing a video game review of the game Sleeping Dog. I know it's an old game, don't you? Alright, the first thing you should understand about Sleeping Dogs is that originally the title wasn't going to be Sleeping Dogs. It is a continuation of the series True Crime. For anybody who doesn't know the series True Crime, it started off with kind of a Grand Theft Auto clone made into kind of cop drama / game. Basically, you played a cop that, like in Grand Theft Auto, you just drove your car around. You could either rescue people or rob them, and it gave you points for whether or not you were good or bad. It was one of the earliest adaptations of the now standard morality system, that dual devil on one shoulder, angel on the next. And the fact of the matter is, this actually continues in that condition. So it's not surprising that it started an undercover cop who is torn between loyalties to his triad buddies and loyalty to law and order. And that's pretty much where the game begins. It begins with you joining up with one of your old-time friends as part of a big triad group that's having a gang war with a gangster named Dog Eyes. And it takes place in Little Chinatown, complete with Yamaha bikes and Chinese guitars mixed with rap music. For those of you wondering why they changed the name from a True Crime series into Sleeping Dogs, it's because that True Crime, the team behind it, was dropped at the last minute. The game itself was cancelled, and the team who was working on it were almost out of a job until they were picked up by Square Enix. And thus the saga continues, not as a True Crime game, but as Sleeping Dogs. And now you know a little bit of video game history would be. Anyway, one of the things that I find the most intriguing about this game is the fact that one of my favorite systems, the upgrade system, has returned in the same style as True Crime, but better. This time, each and every skill you gain is part of a faction, and you can only gain experience with certain factions to do certain things. For example, if you arrest the bad guys and make a huge drug bust, you won't make any friends with the triads, of course, but you will impress the cops enough, and you'll gain experience to reflect that. And with each level you gain a new upgrade in skills like disarming a gun if you're a cop, or using a Slim Jim, also cop, or dealing more damage as a triad, or if you find jade statues for your Master Shifu style Kung Fu instructor, you can even gain new Kung Fu moves in the form of upgrades. Very intuitive, very interesting, makes you want to keep playing. Also, you can also pick up items like noodle soup to gain health, just like in the style of Grand Theft Auto. Energy drinks to do more damage, you know, that sort of thing. And it takes place in the little town of Chinatown, so they usually come in the form of shop vendors that fit every ethnic stereotype in the book that there is about Asians. That being said, this does have a very, very, very intriguing story about a man named Wei Ling, I think. And don't hold me against it, but he's of course torn between his loyalties to his triad buddies and the fact that he's an undercover cop and loyal to law and order first and foremost. There's some talk about his sister who died long ago of drug addiction, and he basically has a vendetta against this guy named Dog Eyes, and of course his superiors are a little corrupt because they're trying to get people arrested no matter what, and unfortunately real cops work like this in real life, even though most of them aren't corrupt. To reiterate, this is something of a GTA clone. If you like driving miles and miles to virtual cities looking for new clothes, new upgrades, new people to talk to, new quests, this is definitely your game. Definitely an exploratory element all over it. Also a strong narrative element for the reasons I just mentioned. There's a bit of a fantasy about being a cop since you can actually arrest people, and it mixes well with the fantasy of being a thug and beating up people, so you can pretty much play Superman cop buddy in one part of the game, then play super awesome thug who doesn't take crap from nobody, and the next part of the game. It's like really intense. It does operate a bit slow though. One of the reasons this review is so late is because I had a hard time just getting to the point where the main character actually used a firearm. Like, there's so many hours and hours of gameplay. This is the type of game you want to rent or buy for like just weeks on end if you have nothing else to do in your spare time. It's definitely for somebody who likes the Grand Theft Auto series, who likes the True Crime series, and who likes the idea of pretending to be a cop. It is the kind of game I would recommend, not only if you're that type of person, but if you're the type of person who, how should I put this, is engaged by action movies. This is an action movie fest, and not like Call of Duty was, where you're basically playing shoot 'em up. You're actually playing a typical action movie role, which is an undercover cop. So yeah, for all you movie buffs out there, this is the type of game that you might want to get into if you like actors like Steven Seagal, Van Damme, and Arnold Schwarzenegger. In conclusion, this is the type of game that people who have experienced playing Grand Theft Auto will enjoy the most. The controls are less than intuitive only because they're basically kind of unique in a way that isn't standard to most games, and sometimes if you're driving in an alleyway it glitches a little bit and you end up driving in circles for no reason except that you ran into the wrong invisible wall. But if you can tolerate glitches like this, this is your game. This is the kind of game where you can live the fantasy of an undercover cop. Good, bad, and all of the ugly reasons. And for my 7-word synopsis, I will say these 7 words. 2 words that are good, 2 words that are bad, 3 words that tell what I recommend you to do. Okay. Endless gameplay, glitchy controls. Buy used copy. Alright, that's it. That's it for my video review. I'll see you next week with my videos, and before you finish watching this video, I'll probably have my Batman Arkham Asylum review posted, so yippee, lucky for you, you get 3 reviews for the price of 1. And I will continue updating my blog each night, and every morning you'll have a fresh new blog review of your favorite video game, so see you then.